Hello YouTube! In today's video I'll show you how I caught a couple of nice fish with my smallest spear gun. The weather was pretty mixed this week with all kinds of wind and changing conditions. When the sea is this warm and the visibility is so bad, I don't like spearfishing in full gear, so I decided to take my minimalistic setup on the paddleboard and try my luck. I anchored the paddleboard in this small bay to protect it from the southerly wind. After a few minutes I saw a shoal of salpes disappear behind this rock, so I slowly sneaked closer and took a shot at the biggest one. The hit was perfect, but when I got closer the flopper closed and fish simply swam away. I followed it and it disappeared into this crack somewhere, so I quickly reloaded and tried to recover it. The waves from the southerly wind were pretty big and it felt like I was inside a washing machine. I couldn't find it there, but about 15 meters further it was lying dead on the bottom, so I got pretty lucky. This gilt-head Seabream was swimming away, so I just took a quick shot and missed, of course. The biggest advantage of this tiny spear gun is that I can reload it in about 20 seconds. I thought I was going to shoot this fish, but it was simply too fast. A few minutes later I came across another shoal of salpes and aimed for the biggest one. I missed, reloaded and continued on. Later I came across another shoal of salpes that also had a beautiful sheephead bream swimming with them. I was still on the surface, so I couldn't really hide, so I slowly moved closer and took the shot. The hit was great, but the shaft got stuck, so I quickly grabbed it to reduce the tension and pulled the fish closer. Then the clouds rolled in and covered the remaining sunlight. The visibility dropped to almost zero, and since I already had two nice fish, I decided to call it a day. I came back the next day when the weather was much better and the wind stopped blowing. I dropped the anchor at the first spot and entered the sea. I immediately saw this gilt-head Seabream, but it was a bit too small, so I didn't even try. Then a pretty big mullet swam by and I took a shot. I waited just a little too long and missed. I reloaded and did an ambush at about 8 meters to see if there were any fish around. There were a few small fish, but nothing worth shooting. The mullet I had missed earlier swam by again at the safe distance, and all I could do was watch. Nothing else came in, so I surfaced and returned to the shallows. I saw this gilt-head Seabream, but it was right at the edge of my range, so I didn't take the shot. Then I saw a shoal of mullets pass by, so I set up an ambush here. The first one flew past quickly while the rest stayed a little further away. Then the whole shoal passed by and I took a shot at the closest one. The shot landed low and the mullet pulled like crazy before tearing off and escaping. I was pretty annoyed, but that's part of the game, so I reloaded and moved on. Back at the paddleboard, a gilthead Seabream came up from the depth, so I exhaled to sink and took the shot. It fought like crazy and went into this hole, but once I saw the shot was solid, I simply pulled it out. This nice catch happened just 2 meters away from the paddleboard anchor. After checking the whole area, I lifted the anchor and moved on. I paddled to the next spot a few hundred meters away while still wearing all my gear. When I reloaded the Speargun, one of the wishbones popped out. Luckily, it didn't break, so I spread the loop open with my knife to reinsert the wishbone. I pulled it through and retied an overhand knot, so it was good to go again. It's annoying when that happens, but at least I know how to fix it quickly. A striped Seabream zigzagged underneath me, and this turned out to be one of the luckiest shots of the season. I managed to hit it right through the head from about 3 meters away with this pocket Speargun. At this point I had enough fish and the sun was getting low, so I exited the sea. The catch wasn't amazing, but it also wasn't bad considering the conditions. I cleaned the fish and ate a post-dive meal, some turkey, ground beef and pistachios to get proteins and fats in. At the end of the day, I paddled home into the sunset. That's all for today's video. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe as it helps the algorithm and ensures you won't miss out on the future content. Thanks for watching and stay safe while diving.